was quick. Okay.
I think we'll do it here. Maestro.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's fine. I didn't really prep that well for this.
I figured this time I had to be on your level because you're usually pretty.
No, you did it. You did a great job. So let's talk, and I might need to share. I don't want to share my screen because it'll look weird, or share my entire monitor, but I am going to share the screen. So first of all, my attempt here, everyone can hear me fine,
Hmm.
is just to kind of briefly go over at a high level, thinking about the differences between AI tools and then what really is a workflow and what's more of a automation. And I think that's, I want to make sure I get it right. Yeah,
Hmm.
difference between tools, workflows, and systems. Now, systems, if you have a system that's really working, then you should automate it, is what I'm going to say. So let's talk about a tool. So ChatGPT, it's a tool. Gemini, it's a tool. Claude, it's a tool. You were using another one just recently for creating PowerPoint presentations. What was that?
I will use Claude.
You were using Claude. What else
Hmm.
was mentioned Tuesday? There's another product for using for creating slides and stuff.
Oh, Gamma.
Gamma, that was it. I'll have
Yeah,
to play with that a little bit.
GAMMA. Yeah, it's fun.
So there's a lot of
Lovable
tools.
does it as well.
Yeah, that's another one that I need to get into. I'm really excited about Lovable. She turned me on to that. But the idea is you have a tool. Think about Microsoft Office. Okay. You've got Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. We'll talk about those three. You're not going to go and build an Excel spreadsheet in Word. However, I know people like my wife who does that. They make tables in Word. And then when they want to sort it or add, they go, why can't I do that? It's like, because you're in Word and you're not in Excel. The point being is know your tool and what it when it should be used and what it should be used for. And these LLMs, and in case for those out there that don't understand, when we say LLM, that's the large language model. Claude is based on a large language model. Gemini is based on a large language model. ChatGPT, they all have their own style. Okay, that might be a better way of putting it. Their own style, their own set of rules of what they were going to be doing, and as such, some of those LLMs are more suited for creativity and image generation as opposed to writing, as opposed to digesting and numbers or programming, etc. So there's a lot of tools out there, and I'm not at a place here to go speak on each and every tool. I think on Tuesday, Oregon City was talking about. Um, uh,
I got it.
okay, okay. Oregon City was talking about the fact that they have in their county they have over 132 different tools being used, or 136.
Yeah, I think it was like 136 tools actually.
Got a little feedback going on with somebody, but so there's a lot of different tools out there. I'm not going over tools today. Okay. Um, all I'm saying is get to know your tools. Some are better for some things than others. Okay. Now, when we start talking about a workflow, um, let's talk about Chat GPT. Okay. So I started to look at taking an audio file from a meeting Zoom does this, and it does it on the fly. It's like it will create your meeting notes from a Zoom call, right? But you have no control over what's going to be in those notes or what's important about their notes. And maybe you have a business that you're running, and then you also have meeting notes from like maybe a community meeting. Maybe you sit on a neighborhood association. Well, those meeting notes need to be look different than your business notes. And then maybe you're doing internal notes that aren't supposed to be made public versus notes that you're talking with a client and they're more about strategy. Maybe it's a client that's been with you for over a year is going to be, those notes are going to be different than a company that you're entertaining, a prospective client. The bottom line is with Zoom, and that's why I don't like Zoom. It's not a one-click all that the notes are going to be the same for using it internally, externally, as a sales thing, as a marketing thing. It needs to be different, but you can't tell Zoom to do that. It's just going to spit out the notes, and they're good, but I wanted something better. So I started with ChatGPT and just hammering it and saying, okay, well, here's the text file from the audio portion. I want you to go through it and da 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 da. So, and I can show you the code, but I think it's going to be gibberish. I started asking, this was in ChatGPT, to build me a prompt. And the prompt eventually, when it took shape, and maybe I just will share it just for a brief. When the prompt finally took shape, can you see it?
Yeah.
It, to me, looks like code. Okay. I even went as so far to say, hey, if you see in the prompt, / star, that's just a comment. Ignore it. So that I could put notes in the prompt to tell myself, this is meeting notes for sales and when it was created, the last step. That's embedded into the prompt. And one of the things I did here was to check to make sure, what version we're running. Make sure that I've actually uploaded a file, a text file, because if not, then we should start. And then I actually put rules in or prompts in here, and I'm going to stop sharing. So that's kind of IP. Did we stop yeah, we're stopped. So I went through and said, and literally the ChatGPT prompt, when it runs like a program, and it'll prompt me, hey, are you doing this for an internal sales, or is this for a client, or is this for a strategic level notes? And I can select which one of what I have. And then the persona, is this for scale evolution? Is this for that academy that you're thinking about? Is this for the neighborhood association? And it'll prompt me. And then, okay, well, who's in the meeting? Is this a client? Then what's the name of the client? And I'm not going to go through every little thing. And then at the end, it sucks in that text file. And based on what I told it, it outputs the appropriate notes. So that very much would be an example of not just me taking like workflow, because I was doing this over and over and over again, and I had this workflow, and moving it into more of a system. And then what I did is I actually have a hotkey. I use many different tools that have nothing to do with AI, but there's a program out there for the Mac called Maestro. And basically with Maestro, I have a hotkey that says, boom, I want to run the meeting notes, and it will automatically open ChatGPT, which I typically would have open. the file would already be uploaded, but I would hit the hotkey and poof, and it would just copy the text stored in memory and paste it, run it, and it's a lot more automated than me having to remember over and over type these commands. And one of the prompts in this system is it coming back and saying, hey, before I build this, is there anything unique you want me to know about this session, about this online recording? Is there anything that from there I can say, yeah, this was, place emphasis on this point, or don't worry about this, or, play up this part, or really dig into this subject, or ignore this subject when you're going through the notes. Because some of our recordings, can be close to an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours long. And then it just spits it out, creates it in text form. And if we're lucky, it will also output a Word file. So that really at a high level might be something you want to wrap your head around, between using a tool like Excel versus creating your workflow and realizing, hey, I'm doing this workflow over and over and over again, and then creating a system from it. And then the icing on the cake would be to actually automate it all, so that, hey, when we're done with the recording, it just boop, 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 it does it all automatically for me. So I'm going to stop there because we are hitting the hour mark. But simplistically said, those are, tools, workflows, and automations. And that's just one example. And it's probably a small one too. I'm sure there's other people out there building their workflows and their automations at a much higher level. But yeah, food for thought.
And again, this isn't going to be the only lunch and learn that we do. So if you want to learn more about automations, how to do that, how to create an agent, how to create a workflow, go ahead and put it down in the chat for us. So then that way we can have topics for the next lunch and learn. We want to be intentional about what we bring to you all, and to make sure that it is we're explaining it, it is understandable, it is approachable, and it really helps add value to your life.
Yep. And cool. Dee, we're doing another lunch and learn in 2 weeks.
We are absolutely doing another one in 2 weeks.
So what is that date?
I believe April 19th. No.
Oh, I don't have the lunch and learn on my calendar. Yeah, so we're doing a big event on the 19th, but I believe on the 9th of April we're also doing our next lunch and learn, and I am trying to find my notes here. I should just ask my AI girl, right?
You absolutely can.
My wife keeps saying, so she's female? I was like, well.
She's whatever I want her to be. I believe the 9th was a lunch and learn, and then we have another one on the 16th of April. And then
okay, so according to my notes, Hey, we're gonna have to get back there. Maybe. See, this is the problem too. Is sometimes I let AI reach and talk to me about everything, and I don't forget, and I forget to put it on the calendar. But so April 19th, 1 p.m., we're doing our big webinar, and then April 23rd at 12 noon, we're doing a lunch and learn.
Okay, cool.
So, cool. And we'll be posting more information about that. Yeah, so I guess the 19th is our next online event, and then the 23rd will be the lunch and learn. So,
and then I'll be doing another event April 30th, which will be about AI governance and how folks should utilize the governance that we're getting. We heard the other day at the conference that the federal government is trying to create the AI governance for all of the United States, whereas states have already been putting in specific governance for how they want their employees and folks to be utilizing AI governance. So hopefully by then I'll have a pros and a con to each of them. I understand the AI governance from the Oregon and the Washington side of the house because I live in the Pacific Northwest. But I also want to be able to pit that against the new guideline that the federal government has put out to see where the possible gaps are and what to think about. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got an exciting few weeks coming up. So, and
April is the place to be.
April's about spring is in the air. So,
yeah,
we're gonna sprung on it. Okay, everyone. I guess if you have any more questions after the meeting's over, feel free to email us. You can contact at scaleevolution.com. We'll be fine. And we'll be sure to answer your questions. Or if you have ideas for other topics for our Lunch and Learn, we'd be open to that as well.
And if you would like to watch a replay of this, we have a new YouTube channel. So we'll go ahead, if you put a request in on our social media that you would like a replay of this, by all means, put that in there and then we will send you a link. It is a closed link to our YouTube channel so that you could watch this replay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.